looked for you, my first instinct was, oh, Carrie's here. Some. Hang on. Spontaneous, in the moment. That's how life is when you don't plan it, when you just say yes and just let things happen, and then
Della.
things unfold as got something going on. Things unfold as they're meant to. You're right, Tina?
Yes.
You look concerned. You look concerned about something.
No, I'm marveling at the miracle. What else is this for? Della, I'm grateful that she's here. Anyway, I'll tell her about it. I won't.
Okay. I can't see April. Is she actually here or?
Looks like she's not on camera quite yet.
All right.
She will be. Della, how did you know that we were meeting?
There she
Are you
is.
in the chat? It's a miracle. I'm glad you made it. We're starting early, you know. Beautiful. I'm grateful.
All right. So everyone just close your eyes for a second. Tina's frozen. Oh, there's April. Close your eyes and just take a breath. Take a couple of breaths, deep breaths. Forget about the world. Forget about who's who, what's what seems to be going on, maybe not going on. Forget about everything spiritual. Forget about what you think this is, this Zoom meeting, this purpose of the Zoom meeting. Just forget everything. Try to enter into a moment where there's no description, nothing written on that slate in your mind. Just try and find a moment of stillness. Quite often that takes a fair bit of mind training, but we're in the right place for that. So let's give it a crack. We're wanting to enter into a holy instant, a moment of perfect stillness where there is nothing but communion, where there is nothing but the peace of God, where there is nothing but that which is eternally. Zoe, welcome. So take a few breaths and just ground yourself. Here I am, Lord. Here I am today to try again, to step into this moment, to come to this moment with wholly empty hands, with nothing in my mind, and to simply experience what there is in this moment without trying to decide what I think that should look like based on past experiences I've had, based on things I've read in books, including the Course, based on what Dave says, based on anything. I want to enter into this moment like a virgin, like an innocent person who's never experienced anything before, so that I can be born again. And you present yourself at your own inner altar, at your prayerful place. Here I am, Lord. And you wait there. And you wait with the expectation for guidance and to hear, because God is always speaking to you through the Spirit, always. There is never a moment His voice ceases to call upon your forgiveness to save you. Never a moment. It's whether you choose to listen or not. That's what brings about the difference. That's what brings about the change in your consciousness. It's one thing to read and hear and talk about spiritual practice, but it's another thing to actually practice. So we close our eyes and breathe, and we wait together in that still place. Jesus drew a circle in the sand in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights to face his temptations, to allow everything that was within him that was corruptive to be exposed, to come up for healing so that he could begin his ministry. We're doing exactly the same thing. The 40-day period, let's just say it's symbolic because it's 40 nows. It's 40 this instant. It depends on your determination, your resolve, your devotion. I'm determined to be still. I'm determined to listen. And if interfering thoughts come and go in my mind, I will not follow them. I will not invest in the stories that they entice me with. I will simply keep my mind focused here and now, in the stillness, in the listening. And I will bring my mind back to the altar again. Here I am, Lord, again and again and again. And in so doing, I'm training my mind to value only that place, to value only where it is that I would rather be, in communion with the creative source of all things. Breathe. Let go of the world. Yesterday's problems already don't exist. Tomorrow's conundrums haven't yet formed other than in the potential. Close your eyes, Owen. Stay here and now. Stay present. And you'll see how wriggly the ego is. You'll see how wriggly you are, giving yourself an excuse to look at those thoughts. There's someone at the door. Maybe I could do with a cup of tea. Anything. Any little thought will distract you out of that moment and back into analysis, back into judgment about what, where, who, why, when, and how, and everything like that. You don't need any of that. Your purpose is not that now. Breathe in through the nose, out through the top of your head. Good. Try to feel the top of your head in your consciousness. Imagine it. And as you breathe in and out through the top of your head, you should be able to feel a little pulse of energy at the top of your head. The body form has many forms to it. There is an electrical conductivity to it. It's part of an illusion, but we're going to use the illusion. We're going to look within the illusion, within the framework of the dream, for the witnesses to the changes in our own minds. Part of those changes will involve changes within the framework of our form, with our avatar. Automatically, we'll just be healed of sicknesses. We'll be healed of generational hand-me-downs. Can't remember what they're called. And we will notice that in connection with the shifts in our consciousness, our physical body also becomes something more attuned to being useful to the spirit. And there are things, phenomena, let's call it phenomena, and little happenings that take place that also bear witness to that. And they're kind of interesting, but don't become preoccupied with them. The gifts of the spirit, they come and they go. You may have periods of clairvoyancy. You may have periods of visionary ability, all sorts of things. Do not turn them into another element of an identity. You're not a clairvoyant. You're not a visionary. You're a child of God, and that's it. Whatever comes to you and happens to you and through you, etc., is simply part and parcel of what it is that is useful in that moment as you transit through the full purification of your mind. Some of you guys tell me that you have this happening and that happening and light bulbs are going on and you're having light behind your eyes and all this sort of stuff. That's natural. That stuff should happen. A certain amount of phenomena is usually quite common, especially at the beginning stages of your mind training, when the really big sort of shifts and the big penny drop moments are happening. Don't be concerned about them. Just simply accept them, let it in. There's a bit of a moment of wow, and then move on. Everything is part of your healing. Everything is part of your transformation. There should not be anything that is what you call your spiritual work as opposed to what you think is your domestic life. Everything is included. Your domestic life is simply an outward picturing of a scenario that is useful in your spiritual work. The relationships you find yourselves in are symbolically representing opportunities to identify blocks within yourself to love's awareness and help you to go deeper and deeper into the psychology of being here and now and entering into that stillness as a kind of an abiding permanency, a mastery of inner peace. The ego, which is the part of the mind that has been tasked with the purpose of keeping you here, keeping you separate, will do everything it can, including have you destroy this avatar in order to reincarnate or respawn, whatever you want to call it, and find yourself back here again in another lifetime, which is also here and now, to do this all over again and taunt you and tease you with the idea of death. That's why it's important to seek for the blocks, to find the blocks, and to realize that all of those fears, the fear of death, the fear of loss, all of those things, they're all part and parcel, to realize that you made them up and that they have no power over you. Anything that has no power over you just fades away. It's like a child that won't stop screaming. It screams for attention. When you refuse to give it attention, it realizes that its screaming is ineffectual and it eventually stops screaming. And your mind is like that. It's like a puppy. You come into this world and you're told what to think, what to believe, how to be, in order that the dream of separation may seem real to you, so that you can learn about the true nature of the power that you have in making choices and learn to make new choices. Now we're learning to make new choices, but it takes discipline and it takes devotion and it takes determination. Breathe. Everything must become to you an opportunity to extend the nature of the love of your true self through being miracle-minded. I love there's a bit in the Course that where Jesus talks about the flow-on effect of forgiveness. One of the things he says is that perhaps the parent will not scold the child. Perhaps the parent will not scold the child. It comes down to the simple, nitty-gritty, everyday child-rearing kind of stuff as that. That's where forgiveness is needed. It's not about sitting on a velvet cushion up in some temple and being something that's superficial. It's boots on the ground. You and I, in the dream, in the idea of separation, are being called to hold ourselves accountable to a very simple principle that will change everything in the nature of our lives for the good, for the holy. But learning to stay true to that is what the mind training is for, because the ego will corrupt you at every step. And I'm sure you've all noticed that how often you put down your course book or you leave a satsang or something, And the next thing that happens, you're embroiled in world affairs again and having opinions and judgments about things. And that's part of it. You learn to remember better by realizing the nature of your forgetting. It's like, oh, I forget this a lot. I forget to apply forgiveness a lot. That's not something to judge yourself for. It's something to be glad that you can actually see. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I see what I'm doing. Now I can make a new choice. I see that I'm easily drawn into conversations about other people, about world affairs, about how I think things should look in a dream. Breathe. One of the things I love in the Bible is where Jesus says, unless a man hates the world, he cannot follow me. And that's a big statement. From a guy that teaches only love and peace through forgiveness, he teaches that you must hate the world first. And you can't do that until you can see what it represents. You can't do that until you look at it with open eyes and see that even the nicest, most beautiful parts of this world is still just lipstick on a skeleton. Everything here ends in death. And you really take that on board, giving up all hope for a better dream, a better life, a better experience. Because if I'm honest, I don't know what better should look like. I could say maybe it would be better if this didn't happen, if there was less of those situations, etc. But once you begin to realize the dualistic nature of the world, that you cannot have better without worse, good without bad, one follows the other. That's the nature of life here. It's cyclical. That's the belief system that we are exiting. And so we enter into a place of spontaneity where we started this video. We enter into a place of, I don't know. I'm willing to be shown. I don't want to plan my life. I don't want to decide what I think I should or shouldn't do. I just want to say yes to what comes to me and see where that little avenue goes, because it's always going to be for the purpose of healing. And if healing is truly your purpose, aligned with the spirit, then you will carry that purpose as a living awareness with you into the situations you find yourself in, and you won't be fooled by what seems to be going on. You'll be looking for your triggers. You'll be looking for your blocks. You'll be aware because you want to catch yourself. You want to catch those reactions. You want to see where it is that you're reacting to the figures in your dream as if they were real. It's very difficult to determine for yourself without an experience that the world is not real, that it's just an illusion, just a projection of the mind. Science is now telling us that. The mystics have been telling us that for thousands of years. The prophets, Course in Miracles, me, other people. And we're coming to our own understanding of that together. We're coming to our own understanding of that through a joining, through a willingness to join in standing together where two or more are gathered in this open place without judgment. Breathe. And letting something else happen in that place that is not of our own determination, not of our own making. Literally something miraculous. And it will happen because you are one with all things already. It's not like there's a God somewhere else that you have to connect to. You're part of it. You're a whole with it. It's kind of impossible to talk about it, but it's something that is already in you and you can depend on if you learn to depend on it. And that requires letting go of your own self ideas of dependency, the small ideas of dependency. I'm going to let go of trying to cope with my life. I'm going to let go of trying to manage. I'm going to let the universe show me where the open door is in this situation, where peace abides in this situation, because I want to find that in me. And so you confront the block. The block is not in someone else. The problem is never in someone else. It's in me. If I see something out in the world I think isn't right, it's in me that it's not right, because it's only my thoughts that tell me where things are and what's going on. And I've already admitted to myself I don't know the meaning of life. So why would I depend upon my thoughts? If I don't know the meaning of life and I've had no success finding it amongst my myriad thoughts about everyone and everything, let me just give up on that and sit here in this letting go, sit here in this wonderful defeat, sit here in this wonderful collapse, this incredible surrender, until something else happens, until I'm answered in my prayers. And you have to ask, here I am, Lord, show me, teach me, tell me, use me. Whatever your heart sort of feels like, let that be your prayer. Don't let me be the arbiter of your words, the words of your heart, because God knows what you want before you ask. And the words of your heart come from a feeling, come from an openness, come from a truth that is already in you, yearning to be heard. It's only ego that would translate it into words. But that's what happens initially. Our prayers are wordful, and so be it. It's not good or bad. So be it. Eventually, our prayers kind of transmute into a sense of gratitude, a sense of openness, a sense of knowing that we are being supported and happy about that. That's when they begin to become reflective of the true communion that we have in our lives with the greater good and the creative power that we are and is all around us. Breathe. Let go. Let go. Dana, let go. Can't work out how to let go. You can't decide how to let go. You just have to let go. It's not something you can try to do. You make a decision to let go and then you do it. Spontaneity is simply living in that moment. Living a spontaneous life, a life guided by spirit, is living in that moment where I'm not going to choose for myself what I think is in my own best interests right here and now. I don't know what anything's for. I'm going to make room for the miracle. I'm going to make room for something else to happen that shows me the true bearing and the true reality of myself and my life on earth. As above, so below. I want to experience that connection. When I walk down the street, when I'm talking to my children, when I'm in the workplace, I go with God. I go with love. I go with peace. I go with compassion. I go with forgiveness. That's my burden that I carry. And it is light. Everything else, well, I've done that. Everything else I've done that, and it didn't bring me any joy. It didn't bring me any happiness. And it certainly didn't bring me any peace. Now I choose to let go. And I'm learning how to stay in that choice. That's all that's occurring, Zoe. I'm learning how to stay in that choice to let go and live my life right here, right now, where it's actually happening, rather than in my memories or in my anticipation. Life is actually happening to me right now. And it is a miracle. When you're in eternity, there's no Zoom meetings, there's no beaches, there's no teachings or learnings, there's no nothing. There's no breakfast cereal. And yet, for some reason, we take all of these things for granted. Familiarity breeds contempt. And our minds seek out for new experiences as if the old ones are somehow resigned to the past. As if the old experiences, perhaps we don't even want to encounter those kinds of experiences again. There's an old saying that says you don't know what you've lost till it's gone. And that is true also for taking life for granted. This is your life. It's not separate from what life is. Jesus says in the Course, the opposite of life is not death, it's another form of life. That's how I want to see this. I want to open my eyes and go, wow, look at this. I'm on a beach and there's people with canoes and surfing and paddling and there's sky and rain and it's incredible. There's breakfast cereal. Wow, what is this? What is this? In the very early lessons, I think it's lesson 3 or 5 or something, Jesus says, ask the chair what it is, and it will reveal itself to you. Ask the chair what it is. He says you'll see little edges of light around the same familiar things that you've always seen. And when he says to you, ask the chair what it is, it's like, what? What do you mean, ask the chair what it is? Your mind has to stretch out to the possibility that perhaps it's not what I thought it was. I call it a chair, but what actually is it? Chairs, tables, the same familiar things I've seen all my life. But everything is light. Allow your mind to expand out. Allow your consciousness to break free from the same familiar definitions of things. Try to get a sense of the wonder of the experience that you have here, even on earth, even within the dream of denial. It's like, holy cow, I'm in a dream of denying God. Who would have thought of that? Who would have ever thought of that? And then along comes this teaching to make it obvious to me and give me an alternative. The whole thing is a blessing. The whole thing is an incredible story. But it's just a story, and it's no more than a story. A story I tell myself, attributed to the power of creation. All things come from God. All things come from source, including what seems to be my ability to have this hallucinogenic, this matrix, this dream, this illusory, Maya, whatever you want to call it, experience. The power to have it comes from God. At a certain point, you realize it's a misuse of that power or a miscreative use of that power, and you begin to return your mind and the power contained within it to the spirit for its use, that you may begin to perceive a different outcome to things and a different perspective on the world. Breathe. But it's no less incredible. Everything is wow. Yes, wow, and thank you. Yes, wow, and thank you. 3 words that you can and should be able to greet any situation with is yes, wow, and thank you. And if you can't apply yes, wow, and thank you to every situation, then you need a 4th word, which is help. Help me to see this truly. Help me to see God in this. Because you will get the results of your own thinking, and initially you're going to have this sort of overbalance towards denial. Just because you've got the Course in Miracles doesn't mean your mind is healed. It's the modality for the healing. So you come to it with a mind in denial, with a mind overlearned of the world and its ways, perhaps with some spiritual learnings from other places and things. But when you begin to do the Course, it puts everything together in a very cohesive and methodical way, and you begin to see that you've been hearing this message actually all along. You've been hearing that love is the answer. Yes is the answer. All along. To let go of resistance and simply say yes to life. When you say no to life, when you let fears get in the way, it's like you're trying to build a dam against the universe. And the pressure of the universe builds up on the other side. And you start to have worries and get sick, and your body develops all sorts of conditions. And then it becomes completely corrupted, and you find yourself back here again after a short sojourn through the bardo or the gate, however you want to call that. Up until the Course came, there was no real guarantee for being able to master in one lifetime. You may have been lucky, you may have found a good teacher, but now you have a self-study course to master in one lifetime the nature of inner peace, which is the goal that you set for yourself. The goal of the Course is inner peace. And as you begin to dedicate and devote all your relationships to that goal, without trying to fix them, without trying to change others, without trying to heal anybody, but yourself, physician, heal thyself, those situations and relationships, etc., automatically transition into peaceful perspectives on life. The nature of your lives becomes a fluid and unbroken experience of self. Everywhere you go, there you are. Everything becomes the same thing, communion. Everything becomes peace. And in that peace, the joy and the love and the warmth of the oneness, which you feel in the heart. You feel it in your heart. You walk out your front door in the morning and it's like, oh, I feel good. And even if something happens during the day that upsets you, you're learning to feel good about that because you're identifying it as an opportunity, not a problem. Here's an opportunity for healing in me. If I change my mind about this person, situation, or event, then the healing can occur in my mind and I will no longer be triggered by the person, situation, or event, and that block is removed. The triggers indicate the blocks. You may have many approaches. I had many approaches. I've had several blocks that I can consciously identify or have where I was able to consciously identify and remove as indicated to me by the presence of triggers in my mind. It's like this person triggers me, that person triggers me. And if you're familiar with the blocks Jesus talks about in the Course, you will be able to reflect that trigger back against one of those 4 blocks, one of those 4 obstacles, and be like, aha, that's what I'm dealing with. I see. Because what it appears as on the surface is only a catalyst. It's only a doorway for deeper inquiry. When Jesus says you have to seek for the blocks and find them, they're not apparent. They're well hidden. The ego has them well defended. Once you learn to master the nature of your consciousness, once you learn to become vigilant for only peace, and then in so doing recognize when you are disturbed and be honest about it, even a tiny disturbance is a disturbance, you'll become more aware of what's actually going on in you. And you'll become less tolerant of it. You'll refuse to accept it in your consciousness, in your mind. And you'll begin the process of healing with that particular aspect of your relationships. Everything in the world is a relationship. Relationship with your environment, with people you don't know, with people you do know, situations, events. Everything here is a relationship. Separation is a relationship between seemingly separated people, situations, and things. Once those separating elements have been removed and you realize this is just my mind, your life becomes more like watching a movie of yourself, where you're the starring role and everything becomes more harmonious and there is happy ending in everything. Happily ever after. It's like a divine romance. It's beautiful. But it takes that you do the work. It takes that you put in the practice. You have the devotion. You keep it sacred within yourself. Your life does not have to look like the lives of others around you. There is nothing wrong with being the odd one out, the black sheep, someone who thinks differently. Otherwise, there'd be no such thing as evolution. And we are talking about evolution here, evolution of a species, the maturation of a species. We're transitioning from Homo sapien to Homo illumina, the self-aware being, which is as far as you can go in this dimension, in this realm, in this time-space experience. That's as far as you can go, and there's no need to go further. I remember when Jesus told me, I was sitting in the session room listening to Ted give a talk. It was probably about 50, 60 people in the room. And all of a sudden, I was sitting to the side of the room on a table. All of a sudden, I heard Jesus speak to me audibly, as I'd heard quite a few times before. And he said, "Dave, you're done." And then almost as if on cue, Ted stopped talking and he looked over at me and he said, "Dave, you're done." And then I heard, "Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride." And I realized at that point that my mind training was accomplished, not the application of it, but the mastery of the principles was accomplished in me. And now it was simply a matter of applying it where it needed to be applied. But that initial mastery of the concepts and the principles that the concepts embody took a good 3 or 4 years of everyday practice, everyday devotion. I sat with my teacher for 6 years all up. That happened at about the 3-year point. The following 3 years, I found that I just became more useful to other people that would come, and I started doing little outreach journeys and taking books and doing things like that and giving stuff away to people and making people aware of the course and things like that, which to me just seemed like a natural progression to want to offer what I had been offered. And everybody does that differently. Everyone's ministry looks different. Some people do it through writing poems, through art, through the sciences. There's no avenue of extending the light of your mind that is not included in your ministry. just as God calls you to forgive, you're also called to extend. It's like receiving and giving, receiving and giving. And your life becomes an extension of that. Your life becomes a conduit. You become a vehicle. You become a vessel for the expression of a certainty about life that has no alternative. It's singular. Breathe. And that's how you have to see yourself, as a great adventurer, someone on a crusade. Jesus even talks about it as the last crusade. This is the last crusade, and the motto of the crusade is to listen, learn, and do. So learning to see yourself as a crusader, as an adventurer, as someone who's willing to take this on. It's like, yep, inner peace is my goal, and I'm not going to let myself off the hook. If I do find myself off the hook, well, I'll just forgive myself, and then I'll get back on with it again, on with the job. So be it. There's no time to waste in feeling sorry for myself, or maybe I'm not good enough, all of that stuff. Learn to recognize that inner dialogue for what it is, nothing. Learn to stay in this place, in the here and the now, here and the now, here and the now, where your life is actually happening, not in your thoughts, in this beautiful moment, in this open moment, where life is actually happening. Breathe. I was going to do a gong meditation for you guys today, and just sort of, you all would be the guinea pigs for my masterful skills at the gong instrument, but I'm in Byron Bay as a rather random occurrence, so we won't be doing that today. We'll just have this little short satsang. Dana, if you can do the first 12 reviews of the first 50 from the course. So if you read 2 and everyone can read, how many people is here? Like 6 or something? Maybe there's another. There's like 6 of us. Where's Teams here somewhere?
There's 16 people here. Did he gone? Did he gone? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me? Oh, you're
Yep.
muted. Should I start now?
Is that better? Am I back?
You are back.
All right. So Dana, if you could start off and just do the first 16, right? And then at the end of that, read lesson 22, the whole lesson, right? So Dana, Owen, Carrie, April, Zoe, when it gets to reading lesson 22, I'd like you to read the lesson. Is that cool? Thumbs up.
No problem, that's fine.
All right. All right, I love you guys. I'm going back to get my daughter and take her for breakfast. And next week we'll be back as normal with an actual room, as far as I know anyway. Maybe other plans, but who knows?
See what time it's going to be.
Yeah. Colin, hello. It's funny on a phone, you don't realise, like, everything's so small, you know. Like,
yeah, scroll, see everybody. There's
I can only,
16
I
people
can't,
here.
even then I can't.
Scroll this way. You should get a whole gallery here. Oh, you're muted. Okay, don't touch your phone. You're muted. Don't touch your phone. You're muted.
I was just going to tell Sima, I've posted her books the other day, so you should have those soon. Andre. All right, I'll leave you guys to it. You can mute me.
Thank you. Love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Peace. Bye. Now I don't know how to hang up. Oh, there we go.
I'm going to mute you anyway. Oh, so there's 15 people here. All right, Donna, you take it on.
Ready?
Repeat myself.
Nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing that it has no meaning so that vision may take its place.
You're facilitating this now.
Oh, who
Yeah.
goes next?
Well, you're facilitating. So you
Wait,
take a breath. Yeah, you're doing this. You take a breath.
okay.
Maybe read it one more time.
Okay.
All right.
Nothing I see means anything.
Hmm.
The reason this is so that I see nothing and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see.
Hold on a second. You're facilitating this. Try that one more time, all right? Take a breath and read what's there and hear what's there. You're not doing this. You're facilitating. I don't know. But you're not doing this for anyone but you, all right? So hear what's being said.
Nothing I see means anything.
Hmm.
The reason this is so is that I see nothing
Yeah.
and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this,
Hmm.
that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing that it has no meaning so that vision may take its place. Mm.
Good. So you feel into it.
There's nowhere to hide.
Maybe you should read it out. Don't move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you read the next one. You go ahead and read the next one. You're
Me.
facilitating, but you read the next one.
You're my assistant facilitator.
Yeah, but you stay with it. Holy Spirit's got you, so you stay, okay?
I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this and only this that I see. This
Stop.
is not vision.
Stop. Ooh. Read that again.
I have judged everything I look upon.
Start from the beginning.
I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me.
Hmm.
I want to hide so bad right now.
That's
I
okay. Don't
know.
hide behind that. Don't hide behind that. Don't adjust with that. Say it again. Stay right there.
I have judged everything I look upon. And it is this and only this that I see.
Hmm.
This is not vision. It is merely an illusion of reality. Because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. I am willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments because I want to see. My judgments have hurt me, and I do not want to see according to them.
Yeah. So you feel into it. See who should go next.
Harry.
When Carrie's done, if she gets done, because really, if you read this one, Carrie, we might be done. We can go. One lesson could do it.
I do not understand anything I see.
Oh.
How could I understand what I see when I have judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable.
Mm.
There is no sense in trying to understand it, but there is every reason to let it go. To make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by willing to do so. Is not this a better choice than the one I did before?
Oh. Oh. Oh, thank you. All right, Dana, you go.
April.
Okay. These thoughts, Holy Spirit, help me read the words on this page. Holy Spirit, help me hear the words on this page. Not my mind. These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I'm aware do not mean anything because I'm trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts that I think with God, but I'm not aware of them because I've made my thoughts to take their place. I'm willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless. My thoughts are meaningless. But all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God.
Owen, do you want to do the next one?
I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think because I'm constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I'm constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I am willing to let it go.
Hold on. You want to do it again?
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
try.
so. No, I tell you
I
what.
will.
Yeah, there you go. I tell you what you do though first.
What?
I tell you what you do first. You would just like just drop in, just take a breath, and you can let all that go. Right?
I'm never upset for the reason I think.
Yeah. Do it again, sorry.
I just I don't know.
It ain't for you to know. You can't know this. You can't know it, Owen.
Well, what do I do then? Do I just
Ah, that right there. I don't know.
I'll try.
Somebody got to talk to me. This is a lie, brother. This is a lie. Someone's trying to talk to you.
I just can't see it. I don't know.
Ah, you're not gonna see it.
Just ask the Holy Spirit to
Ah, well,
help.
hold on. You want to trust?
What?
Yeah, thank you, Dana. If you knew you wouldn't need this book, if you knew you wouldn't need it,
I'll try.
yeah, let go. Dana, ask Holy Spirit. Ask Holy Spirit. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm never upset for the reason I think.
Okay.
I'm never upset for the reason I think, because I'm constantly trying to justify my thoughts.
Stop. Did you hear that? I'm never upset for the reason I think. I am always trying to justify my thoughts. My thoughts don't mean anything. Did someone just read that? I don't know if it's coming up or it went by already.
It's like I'm reading it.
Ah, it's okay. My thoughts don't mean anything. Yeah. No, you're never going to understand it.
So
Can you
do I
just not
read it?
understand it?
What?
Can you just not understand it?
No, I can't understand.
Ah, I bet you can. Can you ask for help? Can you ask for help?
I will.
Mm-hmm. You can. Ah, yeah, you can.
Do I just read it?
You just read it.
I'm never upset for the reason I think.
Stop and breathe. Read it.
I'm never upset for the reason I think. I'm never upset for the reason I think, because I'm constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I'm constantly trying to make them true.
Mm.
I make all things my enemies, so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I've misused everything I see
Mhm.
by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me
Ooh.
and that I no longer want.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. It's hard to say that last line, right? Yeah, it is. Ask for help, brother.
I'm willing to let it go.
Yeah. That's it. Over and over and over, he says, just your willingness. Just your willingness.
Should I read the next one?
You should. You should. Dana, how many are we supposed to do? This is on you, love. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna let you.
Okay.
I'm learning from you. Okay.
No, but
Taking
I
go
think-
right where you are, brother. With just your willingness. I'm willing. See how hard that was? Willingness is the hardest thing. The rest of this shit is easy. Willingness. Take your breath.
I'm upset because what I see is not there. Reality is never frightening.
Try it again.
I'm upset because what I see is not there.
Is that what yours says?
What?
Is that what yours says? I'm upset because what I see is not there. Is that what yours says? We just noticed. I want to do it myself. I want to make it up. I want to say what I want to say. I want to make it easier for myself. That's not what he says. Try it again. What did he say? Doesn't make any difference. Yes, it does.
I'm upset because what I see is not there.
That's not what I see. Maybe I got a different version. Mine says I'm upset because I see what is not there. It sound the same to you? Ah, okay, try it again.
Mhm.
I'm upset because what I see. Oh, hold on, I messed up word. I'm upset because I see what is not there.
Thank you.
Reality is never frightening. It isn't possible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace.
Mm.
When I am upset, it is always because I've replaced reality with illusions I made up. These illusions are upsetting because I have given them reality, and thus regard reality as an illusion. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mine.
I'll try to figure it out.
I am always upset by nothing.
Whew. Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, Ellen. Hi, Della. I'll go on number, where are we? 7?
Yes.
I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemy. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past, and therefore no enemy, and I will look with love on all that I failed to see before. Wow.
Can she read another one?
Sure.
Can she? Sorry, Dana, I'm gonna leave you alone after this.
No,
Della,
don't go anywhere. Stay
Della,
right there.
Della. Hey, Della.
Yeah.
I just want you to know how grateful I am that you're here.
Thank
And that was so beautiful. If you would just read another one, but really, I want to hear you read this.
you.
All right. So take your time.
My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own faults, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I am trying to use time against God.
Mm.
Let me learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I am giving up nothing.
It's so good. Thank you.
I had
All
to
right.
hold that all in together. Bless you. Thank you.
Me too. I hear it when you hear it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Seema?
It's you, Seema.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. I don't know which, I mean, I don't have the book. I only
You have
have
this
this.
one. Okay.
No, I don't have that one. No, I don't have that one. And
That's
I won't
okay.
be leaving shortly too.
I
So,
know. So we should probably get you in real quick. I know. All right.
yes. So
We should
which
get you.
one?
So I'm going to tell you where it is. It's in lesson 56 or 57 or 58. It's around there, I think. I don't know. Oh, wait. Maybe earlier. 50 is the last one. So 52 or 53.
I,
Which one are we in? We're in I'm upset about because I see it. No, not there yet. My thoughts do not. Ooh, not there yet. We're on 52. Who? This book is the bottom of the page 84. I see nothing.
I see nothing as it is now. That one?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, so
Okay.
you know what to do. Woo, we just had to search, right? So you need to take a minute and get here with
Yes.
this. Especially, I see nothing as it is now. The hell?
I,
Okay.
I see nothing as it is now.
Thank you.
If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. It is merely whether to see or not. What I have chosen to see has cost me vision. Now I would choose again that I may see.
So good. Read the next one. Whew. Take a second though. So good.
Oh,
Ooh.
eyes are blurry.
Mhm.
My thoughts do not mean anything.
Hmm.
I have no private thoughts, yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? Ah,
Yeah, you got to read that again. Don't, let me say this. You're just reading it for yourself.
my
Let
thoughts do
it,
not.
hold on. Let it do what it wants to do to you. All right, Seema?
My thoughts do not mean anything.
Ooh.
I have no private thoughts, yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware.
Hmm.
What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation
Hmm.
and part of the creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
no, thank you.
Thank you, Father. Ooh. All right, Dana.
No.
Thank you,
Okay,
Dana.
oh, thank you. Andre.
Other-
Hey, Kai.
My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, The word which pictures them can have no meaning. What is producing this word is insane, and so is what it produces. Reality is not insane, and I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. I can therefore see a real world if I look to my real thoughts as my guide for seeing.
Thank you, Andre.
You should do another one. You should take a breath, brother. Are you standing up? Are you standing up?
No,
Okay. I don't know. Maybe you should stand up. Can you stand up? I think you
yeah.
should. All right. Do another one.
I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world which represents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world. I am grateful that this world is not real. Very, very grateful. And that I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning.
Thank you.
Arlene?
You're muted.
Okay. A meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But, but such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear because I am acknowledging that it does not exist.
Eric, would you like to do the next one?
Sure. Let me make sure I'm on the right page. It's lesson 53, right?
Ina?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't. I tell you what it is. God did not create a meaningless world. You find it, brother?
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
God did not create a meaningless world.
Oh, you gotta take a second. God did not create a meaningless world. You gotta take a minute.
God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world exist? God did not create it. He is the source of all meaning. Everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too, because he created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts when the perfection of creation is my home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide.
Do you want to read it again?
Sure.
Yeah. Take your time. What did he say? Ooh, he is the source of all meaning.
God did not create a meaningless world.
Yeah.
How can a meaningless world exist? God did not create it.
Yeah.
He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too.
Wow.
He created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts when the perfection of creation is? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really am.
Thank you. Thank you,
Deb?
Eric.
Oh, yes, thank you. Deb?
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. All good.
My thoughts are images which I have made whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts which tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts. I am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against him because it is not my will that they do so. My will is his. And I will place no other gods before him.
Yes. Hey Cam. Hey Cam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to do something for me though? I heard the first part. Can you read for me, please? Yeah, God's way is sure. I want to hear you say that to me.
Yet God's way is sure.
Yes. Yes. Now what?
The
Finish that.
images
Yes, thank you.
I have made cannot prevail against him because it is not my will that they do so.
Yes.
My will
Hear
is
that.
his,
Hear that.
and I will place no other gods before him.
You know what?
All right, mommy.
Till I'm about to throw my shoe at you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.
Colin.
Thank you, Dana. You're doing beautiful. Whew.
I have no neutral thoughts. Neutral thoughts are impossible because all thoughts have power. They will either make a false world or lead me to the real one. Cause cannot be without effects. But thoughts cannot be without effects. As the world I see arises from my thinking errors, so will the real world rise before my eyes, as I let my errors be corrected. My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are.
Thank you, Colin. John? Thank you.
I have this version. I don't have the other one.
Yeah, he has the blue one, Tina.
Same thing. Quick lesson service words. So it's lesson 54 in the FIP. Can give you a page number. $17. You got it. I see no neutral things. All right.
I see no neutral things. What I see witnesses to what I think. If I did not think, I would not exist, because life is thought. Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind. I know that my state of mind can change, and so I also know the world I see can change as well.
Thank you, John. Arthur, have you read yet? No.
I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. If I have no private thoughts, I cannot see a private world. Even the mad idea of separation, had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share with everybody. As my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, so my real thoughts awaken the real thoughts in them. And the world my real thoughts show me will dawn on their sight as well as mine.
You want to read that again?
Thank you.
Feels like you do, yeah. There's some stuff that didn't want to be heard. You'll hear it this time.
I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. If I have no private thoughts, I cannot see a private world. Even the mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Even the mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share everything with everybody.
There it is.
As my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, as my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, so my real thoughts awaken to the real thoughts in them.
There.
And the world my real thoughts show me will dawn on their sight as well as mine. Thank you.
You about to get a shoe. Love you, Blue Ketchup.
Mm. Mm. You good, Dina? Deb? And oh, Deb. It says Deb and Carl. Yeah.
Yeah, we're here in the car together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me okay through the car speaker?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am alone in nothing. Everything I think or say or do teaches all the universe. A son of God cannot think or speak or act in vain. He cannot be alone in anything. It is therefore in my power to change every mind along with mine. The mind is the power of God.
Mm. Carl, do you want to read something?
Carl won't be able to, he's driving.
Oh, okay, you're driving. Anna.
Thank you, Deb.
I am determined to see I am determined to see I am determined to see, recognizing the shared nature of my thoughts. I am determined to see. I would look upon the witnesses that show me the thinking of the world has been changed. I would behold the proof that what has been done through me. Oh God. I would behold the proof that what has been done through me has enabled love to replace fear, laughter to replace tears, and abundance to replace loss. I would look upon the real world and let it teach me that my will and the will of God are one. Colin, will you read that one? Angels hover near, Colin. Will you read that one?
Yeah. Oh. I am determined to see. Recognizing the shared nature of my thoughts, I am determined to see. I would look upon the witnesses that show me the thinking of the world has been changed. I would behold the proof that what has been done through me has enabled love to replace fear. Laughter to replace tears, and abundance to replace loss. I would look upon the real world and let it teach me that my will and the will of God are one.
Ina, do you want to do the next one? And then Zoe, Dave asked for Zoe to do lesson 22.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We went our own way. We were supposed to do 16, but we're going to end on 21. And then Zoe, you're reading the entire thing. So get your book. Oh, you have your book? It's good. You got it?
I got that website up that you sent me.
Perfect.
So
So you're going to read the whole lesson, lesson 22. I'm going to read. I'm going to read. Woo. Woo. Oh. Woo. Oh. Oh. Mm. Oh. I am determined to see things differently. I am determined to see things differently. Mm. What I see now are but signs. What I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved son. The very fact that I see, the very fact that I see such things, oh, is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. Oh, I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me rather than those which show me an illusion of myself. Oh, 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 thank you. Oh, oh. Zoe, my heart.
yeah, I felt that.
Zoe, my heart. Zoe, my heart. Yeah. You ready, sis?
Yeah, yeah.
My heart, love my heart. You take a big breath, okay? My heart. Oh, my heart. Oh.
What I see is a form of vengeance. What I see is a form of vengeance. The world I see is hardly the representation of loving thoughts. It is a picture of attack on everything. It is a picture of attack on everything by everything. It is anything but a reflection of the love of God
Ooh.
and the love of His Son. It is my own attack thoughts that give rise to this picture. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me the peace God intended me to have.
Thank you, Doc. That was your warm-up.
Oh, God.
Go find lesson 22, the entire lesson. So you're in lesson 55.
Yeah.
Scroll. If you need me to, I'll send it to you. You need me to send it to you?
Yeah, go on then, that'll be easier.
Send it to you? Okay.
Yeah, please.
All right. You got your messenger ready?
Yep.
All right. Dana, do whatever you need to do while I do this. Or we just sit still. Let's sit still. Just sent it to you.
Okay.
Same. My heart.
What I see is a form of vengeance. Am I reading the whole thing?
You're reading the entire.
Today's idea accurately describes the way anyone who holds attack thoughts in his mind must see the world.
Yes.
Having projected his anger onto the world, he sees vengeance about to strike at him. His own attack is thus perceived as self-defense. This becomes an increasingly vicious cycle until he is willing to change how he sees. Otherwise, thoughts of attack and counterattack will preoccupy him and people his entire world. What peace of mind is possible to him then? It is from this savage fantasy that you want to escape. It is not joyous news to hear that it is not real. Is it? Is it not joyous news to hear that it's not real? Oh, God. Is it not a happy discovery to find that you can escape? You made what you would destroy, everything that you hate and would attack and kill. All that you fear does not exist.
Tell you
Look
what.
at the world. Look at the world about you at least 5 times today, for at least a minute each time, as your eyes move slowly from one object to another, from one body to another. Say to yourself, I see only the perishable. I see nothing that will last. See nothing that will last. What I see is not real. What I see is a form of vengeance. At the end of each practice period, ask yourself, is this the world I really want to see? The answer is surely obvious.
Oh.
Thanks. Yeah, well.
No. You.
Thank you, Phare.
Sorry, I didn't realise there was a... Oh, wait, never mind. I thought there was another page to
it. You're good. Dana, this is your deal, love.
My deal. I can only say from tonight, something clicked. The little images I make in my head of how to make sense of this made sense. I don't need them anymore. I thank everybody for being here.
All right. Thank you, Dana. And put your hand up on. Thank you. We're good? Okay. Church say amen.
Amen.
Love you guys. Ah, sorry to be practical. You know how things happen today. All of a sudden we got a meeting like now. So it's helpful if you are in the group chat. You don't have to be, you know what I'm saying? But John, you popped in. Well, you popped in a little bit later, but Della was here like, you were here when you're not, you know. Anyway, it's helpful to be in the chat if you want to be in the chat. If you want to be, then holler at me, put you in the chat. At least that way you get notified when things change like today. All right. Love you guys.
Thank you, Tina.
Yeah.
Love you.
Thank y'all. My heart. My
Love you
heart. My heart.
guys.
Deb on the road. Deb made it on the road. Della made it in here all of a sudden. How was that possible? John, I ain't seen you in forever. How are you, brother? Are you there? He's not even there. Okay. All right, Della, thank you. Oh, awesome. Cool. All right, you guys. Holla, holla, holla. Love you. Bye.